Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome into a Friday edition of The Rome Show, broadcasting live on youtube.com/The Romanellas, Twitter X, The Rome Show 1, Instagram, The Rome Show 1, and Facebook.com/The Rome Show. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. I am excited to be with you today. It's December 19th. 7:13 in the state of New Jersey, and we're coming to you live, and we are coming to you hot. An NFC championship potential battle we watched last night between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams, with the Seahawks coming away 38-37 in overtime of a game that felt like was only the Rams for a minute, then only the Seahawks for a minute, then nobody wanted it at all. And then we came back to 2 touchdowns in overtime, a 2-point conversion, 15 points, and a victory for Seattle. But that's not all we got today for the people, because it's a Friday. So we tell you what you're watching. Over the weekend, we give you our week 16. I know, crazy, right? 16 weeks down in the National Football League already. 3 technically still to go. Nonetheless, we're not going to talk about the end. We're still in the middle of the journey. Week 16 NFL picks. Finally, the college football playoff gets started as well. I bet you're wondering, really? That thing's still going on? Yeah, you'd actually be mind blown to find out it's only the first round. Oh yeah, saddle up. You got 2.5 more weeks, wild, of college football. Their season is now essentially the length of the National Football League season to a degree, and some other things we must talk about. We'll get the finishing of the pleasantries over with. Just remember, you can comment live on the show, youtube.com/The Romanellas, youtube.com/The Romanellas. Please hit subscribe and like when you get there. The Rome Show 1, Twitter X, Instagram, The Rome Show, then the number 1. You can also comment live on the gram and I just said it, Twitter X. So you got 2 options there. I got to straight off the Rome for the people today, because something has been on my mind for the last 5 or 6 weeks. And over the last 5 or 6 weeks, certain things in certain areas that have happened that have gotten me a little fired up. So I am giving it to the people today. 1, as a therapeutic session for Andrew, but 2, as I believe, a fantastic note in life. Off the Rome, Friday, 12/19. So here's what's on the Rome today. Friendship. Because if I'm going to be honest with the people out there today, man, I am struggling on friendship. I'm 35 years old now, and you spend most of your life, okay, at least your adult life, let's call it from high school on, believing that certain people are in your group or certain people matter to you, or you have these experiences with people that really, really matter, okay? And it's hard for you to get past how tight you were with that person at a singular time in life, or how tight you've been multiple years, extending years, maybe a few decades with a person. And then all of a sudden, things start to change, whether that's just adulthood and timing, whether that's you grow out of love for each other, or another factor that we are not discussing today. Things change. And over the last month, I feel like I have been going through a insane tree trimming of friendship changes. And what it's made me realize is that the 4 5 closest people to you are truly the most important people in your life, because friends are going to come and go, and people are going to make their own decisions, and they're going to act their own way. And you can agree or you can disagree, because the problem with friendship is on one side of the friendship, someone looks at that relationship a certain way. And then on the other side of friendship, someone looks at it a completely different way. And then they act according to how they feel that friend ranks to them. Well, over the last 5 weeks, I feel like I've had friends that have just pretty much been like, yo, you're good. I'm good with you. Or their actions speak louder than their words, or our 10 plus year friendships. And as I've been dealing with this frustration or this sadness or this anger or whatever has gone on, and I've talked to different people, everyone keeps telling me the same thing. Man, that's friendship. Like, that's literally friendship. As you get older, your circle starts to shrink, and you realize the 4 or 5 people that really matter to you. And what's crazy is, oftentimes, those people are someone you're marrying, someone that technically is blood related to you, or when you really break it down, you knew the answer to that. This person has always been there for me. I might have enjoyed moments with these other people, and for seconds, I thought this was cool, that was cool, whatever. But man, dude, this person's been here. If you ever seen Meet the Fockers, okay, in that movie, the father draws a circle, and he's like, this is my circle of trust, Greg, okay? And then he draws a dot on the outside of the circle. He's like, Greg, you're on the outside of the circle of trust, right? And it's like, you got to work really hard to get in this circle. And this circle is small. Okay. And so I'm here to tell you off the Rome 12/19 on a Friday. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're getting ready for the weekend. If you are a Hanukkah celebrator, hopefully that's going well. If you're getting ready to be a Christmas celebrator, I hope that's exciting too. We got another day of Rome show giveaway. Look for it on the social media accounts. But to finish my straight off the Rome, I wanted to give a note that I've been telling myself over the last few weeks. And at the end of the day, people are going to make decisions for themselves, as you should make decisions for yourself. But look at the people that are the tightest to you, care the most about those people, and understand if they're not, and even if they are related, but if they're not related, the sad part and the facts of the reality is there could always be a chance they make a decision that your friendship is not the same, viewed in the same light as you view your friendship. And the fact that that exists, man, and I got to tell you, as I've learned, and I hope we still got more life to live, I've learned one thing, and the hard way, in the last 5 weeks. And by the way, like, just be an adult, have a conversation with the people. That's a big thing too. And so, like, my fiance says all the time, do you really want these people in your life that are going to make you sad or frustrated or angry or not going to care about you as much as you care about them? I'm like, damn, you're right. So as I get ready to get married in 6 months, as we get ready to finalize that list, I'm like, you know what? Who matters, man? Who matters? All right. And I don't want people at my wedding that have not my best interest in mind as their friend, or Juliana's, or even family members. But we are not going down that road, because I'm in a big Italian family. And the one thing that I have learned in my 35 years of living, whether that's cleaning your room, doing the dishes, doing your homework, being respectful, or planning your wedding list, just do what mom says. Just listen to mom. Mom knows best. The Rome Show, broadcasting live on youtube.com/The Romanellas, Twitter X, Instagram, The Rome Show 1, Facebook.com/The Rome Show. Feel free to write in on any of those sites. You can get in on the action on the show. I got to give my props. Speaking of friendships, I've created a fantastic new group of friends in the Morristown Inline Hockey League. And it has been so much fun the last 2.5 months, getting to know the boys of Aged Lumber, putting some biscuits in the basket, And getting back to my roots of playing hockey, which I spent a lot of my childhood playing. And the Aged Lumber boys and I finished in second place last night in the regular season. On Monday, we have the playoffs starting. And I promised the boys, because in the first week of giving out the game stick, which we call the wood here on Aged Lumber, I had the responsibility of bringing it to the game last night and handing it out to the player of the game. Well, me and this dude, Matt's a G. Great hands. I mean, some of the smoothest hands I've seen in a minute. And we're doing it on a roller hockey rink. And that puck does not move. Like, the difference between the sport court roller hockey and the ice is off the charts in terms of puck movement, because you really have to make sure you're putting the effort behind the stick on the roller hockey rink, or you're leaving that puck. And this dude, Matt, bro, he's got some hands. All right. 4 Genos last night for Aged Lumber. And because I failed at my mission for the boys in bringing the game stick to the locker room and giving it out to the player of the game, I have agreed in principle to making this speech in congratulations to Matt for winning the wood last night. Aged Lumber poised for their first playoff appearance in the fall 2025 D6 League. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Looking to be the champions of D6. 7 p.m. Monday, Moorestown, if you guys want to come and support. I told the people that I'd try and get as many Romo Sapiens out there as possible. Maybe we get a ruckus crowd for the boys on Monday. Nonetheless, Matt, congratulations on taking home the wood. I am honored to be a part of the Aged Lumber community. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to some sports now after this 30-second spot from our sponsor. And don't you forget to tighten your lug nuts when you get home later.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
What's going on? Welcome back into the Rome Show here, broadcasting live on youtube.com/the Romanellas, Twitter X, Instagram, the Rome Show 1, the Rome Show then the number 1. Want to give a quick shout out to Jeremy, who won the Thursday 12/18 edition of the Rome Show giveaway contest. That's exciting stuff. Jeremy got the question correctly. If you were wondering, by the way, you could go to the Rome Show podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can go listen to the Epi. Long and short question of the day yesterday was, there were 2 teams, NCAA tournament, in the history of time that have 16 seed beaten a 1 seed. Can you name one of the 2? Bonus points. Could you name the team that they beat? Okay. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you don't know the answer, or if you were like, ooh, I am going back to the Rome Show podcast later to listen. Andrew Romanella, it's a Friday, 7:26, state of New Jersey, 12:19, Thursday night football last night was a doozy. If you didn't see the whole game, and I think this tends to happen Thursday night, Monday night, I've been there, okay? You watch the first half of the game and you're like, this is an awesome football game if it is. And if it's not, you're ready to turn it off anyways. You fall asleep, you wake up, you're like, what the hell happened in this game? I was the reverse. I go to my hockey game last night and it's like we had a 9 o'clock puck drop. So I get home and I'm like, oh man, you know, for some reason, there was just no following for me prior to being done with the game. And I get home and I'm like, all right, you know, let's see what's going on in this game. I literally almost forgot this game was going on. I was so entrenched in Aged Lumber's victory 10-6 last night. Okay. And I turn the TV on, and it's 30-30. All right. And Sam Darnold and the boys are with the football. Matt Stafford and gang had just gone 3 and out for the third straight time. And from what I'm understanding, I'm reading stats like the Seahawks are 0-162 in the history of time, leading by 15 or more in the fourth quarter. And the Rams are like 398-1 or something crazy like that if they're leading by 15 in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, oh man, what did I miss? So I start going back. You're scrolling through Twitter X, right? You're going through Instagram clips. You're on ESPN.com, Yahoo.com. I'm scrolling through everything. I'm like, what the hell did I miss? At commercials, the 2-minute warning, I went back. I'm like, what? So I figured I'm watching what's going on. I'm like, what a wild game. Okay. So then they go to overtime at 30-30, and I got to live watch that entire 6 minutes. And boy, was that entertaining. And I got a few takeaways. Okay. The easiest one being both of these teams are legitimate contenders. Okay. I give the notch to the Rams. Though the Seahawks found a way to win last night at home. Okay. They really needed to work to come back from that. I don't think you want to put yourselves down by 16 with 12:30 left in the fourth quarter to the Rams all the time. Okay. But I give the Rams the nod slightly over the Seahawks long term just because the quarterback. Okay. Now, my second takeaway here is though Sam Darnold started this game in a really dangerous position, throwing 2 interceptions and looking as if the monkey on his back of not being able to play in a big game is going to stay there, he grabbed that monkey and he threw it into the 12th man, and they said, we got you, bro. We'll get this thing out of the stadium. And I think that's the most important thing that happened last night between any team, personnel, anything on that field last night. Sam Darnold proved to Sam Darnold, I think at least. Haters will say no because of the way the game started. And I'm okay with that too. I'm okay if you want to tell me that Sam Darnold didn't prove enough to you last night. I'm fine with that. He proved enough to me that he is worlds ahead of one where anyone ever thought he would be. I mean, let's be serious. Released by the Jets, mocked insanely for some comments about seeing ghosts that still get brought up today. Released by the Panthers, backup in San Francisco, starts as the backup in Minnesota, does a great job last year proving to people this is actually how good he is, but no one really believed it. Then in week 18 last year, in a big game against the Detroit Lions, they sucked. He sucked. Then in the playoffs last year, he sucked. They sucked. Okay? And so you better believe in the back of everyone's mind, every Seahawks coach, player, fan, Sam Darnold, a lot of people went into that game last night being like, okay, since last year's final 2 weeks, this is the first true test for Sam Darnold under center of a playoff contender that people think has a defense that's good enough to win a Super Bowl, the best wide receiver in the league, and an emerging head coach as somebody that's like, dude, this guy's going to be really good. But you needed to see Sam Darnold complete a big game in prime time and be a reason the team won, not a reason the team either lost or should have lost. And the way that game was trending in the first half, it was looking like he was going to be the reason they lost. Well, it wasn't. And my second biggest takeaway in that contest, which is arguably the most important, is I think Sam Darnold can get you to a Super Bowl. I still think the jury's out. Okay, I still think I got to see it again. When you look at the remaining schedule, they now have the Panthers fighting for the NFC South and the 49ers left on their schedule. This is no cakewalk, okay? Because on the flip side, though now the Seahawks have the path, third point in what happened last night, whoever won that game has the true, I can path this thing to not just winning the NFC West, but also the number one overall seed in the National Football Conference. So the Rams, they play the Falcons and the Cardinals to finish the season. So though they lost that game and the path is technically easier, quote unquote, for the Seahawks to win the number one seed and the division, the strength of schedule 49 times over favors the Rams. So Sam Darnold and friends are not done proving to us that they are a good enough team to take this thing farther than what we're talking about right now. Sam Darnold and friends, that was the first door of a bunch of doors you got to kick open or down or go through, whatever analogy you want to use, to get to the other side and be a true Super Bowl contender. The one thing I've learned about the Rams, which is going to be a key importance here, because to be a 3B off that third point, the flip side is the Rams are now like the 5th seed in the postseason, and they're going to have to go on the road. Okay. And when you look at the season for the Rams, they've had 2 really bad games in the last 4. Okay. At Carolina 4 weeks ago and yesterday against the Seahawks. From the standpoint of defense, we told you yesterday how good this defense was, and that's why we had ranked them our number 1 team in the National Football League. Just tweeted it on Twitter X if you want to go see that list. The Rome Show 1 on Instagram with the list as well. Versus the Panthers, they gave up 31 points on the road, okay? Versus the Seahawks, they gave up 38 on the road. Okay, that concerns me. At the 49ers for a victory, gave up 26. At the Eagles for a loss, gave up 33. What am I getting at here? Not how did the Rams as a team travel? They're 5-3 on the road. How does this defense travel on the road? That's a major concern for me. And it twice in the last 4 weeks in important games. If you beat that Carolina team 2 weeks ago, the loss today has you tied in the division. Now, that's easy to say. You could go back on a lot of games in the season and say, well, if you won that game, you'd win the division already, you'd be in the playoffs. No doubt. We're not about to get into that conversation. But the facts are the facts. 2 of the last 4 weeks, the Rams have gone on the road and given up over 30 points defensively for a defense that, from my estimation and the numbers, is given up about 15 a game. Not what you're looking for. Here's the 4th and final piece of this whole thing. And it comes with the 2-point conversion that happened at 30-28. If you didn't see it, I have the video for you right here. Long and short, Sam Darnold went for a screen pass out to the wide receiver, tight end, or whatever, running back, whatever. You'll see it. The Rams guy blocks it. Ball bounces around, ends up in the end zone. Zachary Charbonnet goes, picks it up. All of a sudden, you think, oh, 2-point conversion stopped. 2-point lead, Rams, 13 minutes left in this game or whatever. But no, wait, there's more. We go to replay. We say this ball was a backwards pass, and there's a clear and obvious recovery in the end zone. Are you serious? Check this out. This is the game tying.
We're going to bring you in one more time. What are you seeing again?
That last shot we showed from overhead, It's clearly backward. Even if it was parallel, that would be considered backward. So if we look at that overhead shot again, he releases it, and it clearly goes backward to the point of first touching.
All right, now here comes the recovery. Watch. And just a casual
There's
pickup.
the recovery right there. That's in the clear and continuing action.
Can you imagine?
This is good. This is a good 2-point conversion. Yes.
Wow. Imagine this announcement. This place will go
bananas. Oh, yeah, they will.
What's at stake? Is this the craziest 2-point conversion
ever?
Yes.
To tie a game of this magnitude.
Yes.
In the fourth quarter with 6:20 to go.
Are you serious?
So
you got to be serious.
Is the man of the moment.
And here he comes.
Tells us.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback threw a backward pass, which was recovered in the end zone by the offense. It is a successful conversion.
That is the craziest ever.
Craziest.
I mean, like, okay, so to finish here, okay, because then the Seahawks, and I'll play it for you here while I talk through it. Then the Seahawks, they went on to tie the game. The Rams go to overtime. They score 37-30. In order to keep this thing alive, the Seahawks have to score a touchdown and then make it either a tie or go for 2. So this is what happened in OT. Sammy Darnold hits Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Throws!
Caught!
Smith and Jigba.
Contest, and then make a bold decision to go for 2 instead of the
Darnold
tie.
Throws.
Darnold
for the 2 points.
Only
Eric
players,
Saubert
on their receiving course, tight end course, that hadn't had a reception or something all game, and the Seahawks.
They throw to a guy who hadn't made a catch.
Megan writing in, how about them Seahawks? And what a totally Seahawks way to win. Oh, yeah, Meg. Are you kidding me? And that's what I wanted to say about the backwards pass 2-point conversion thing. I'm not stating that that's ridiculous from the terms of you should never win a game that way and yada, yada, yada. Rules are rules, people. Okay? And everyone on the field is supposed to know the rules. Okay? And everyone on the field did not know the rules. But my problem with it is I don't think nor do the referees. And that therein lies my issue. Okay? Because the way some of these plays are handled, it's like, well, the referees are taught not to do anything so that if it then we can go back on replay. It's like, that's the problem, though. Okay? Because the ball gets batted down. Maybe someone blew a whistle. Maybe someone didn't. The players look at the officials. The officials actually don't know what to do. That's the real part about it. The officials are in real time going, I don't know what to do. So in my opinion, that should be a replay, especially on a 2-point conversion. But you should never, ever be able to, I don't care that it's backwards. He threw the football. It bounced all around. There was nothing beneficial or positive or anything for the Seahawks right there. So what I've learned today here is what we should do is we should throw a backwards wide receiver screen. We'll lob it up a little bit so that there's enough. My guy will come running and he'll bat it as far down as he can the field. And what we'll do is we'll offshoot. We'll run the other guy on the other side. And the goal will just be, hey, if it's 3rd down and 12 and we're in, beyond field goal, we'll just bat it. And maybe we can, get a forward recovery fumble. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They didn't complete the ball. It was never in anybody's hands. I don't care that it went backwards a quarter of a half of a yard. There's no way that should be a counted 2-point conversion. That is the stupidity of the National Football League, man. Like, that's dumb. Everyone knows it's dumb. Megan, shout out to her because she is so great. Okay. And she said it too. So many Rams fans don't know their role. And like I'm saying, this is a right call for a 2-point conversion. This is the call because that's the rule. But that is dumb to me. That's my opinion. If you don't complete a ball that is released from a quarterback's hand, I don't care if it's forward or backwards, you should not be able to advance the football. Maybe it's still a fumble if it's thrown backwards. But you should never be able to garner points for having an incomplete pass. That's essentially what it is. Forward or backwards doesn't matter. It's a ball passed, and it's incomplete. Okay? So I think we all might have found a caveat here last night. All right? Throw the ball backwards. If you can get your punter out there, have him kick it the 50 yards. And then you'll have your wide receiver streaking down, and maybe he can try and catch the kick. And by the way, it's a fumble. It's a fumble. You can advance it forward. So to finish, and Megan, thank you for the write-in. I really do appreciate it. And she writes in, she hears the 12th man roars when she plays the clip, and it's ridiculous how loud they are. And I love that the Seattle Seahawks play into that. They have the 12 on the back of their helmet, back of their jersey. Sam Darnold had it on his little pouch to keep his hands clean. That I love. I think why Seattle's fan base is so elite is because the team and the ownership do a fantastic job of playing into it. And by the way, what a fire, at least in my opinion, set of uniforms last night. Megan, I really appreciate you writing in. Megan is writing in on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. So if you head to youtube.com/the Romanellas, you can write in like our girl Meg. Yo, go Seahawks, Meg, leading in the NFC right now. Let's hope they can secure it over the next 2 weeks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, quick commercial break. Then we come back and we talk week 16 picks plus, again, college football playoff finally getting started tonight. Alabama at Oklahoma, the 9 seed versus the 8 seed. We got some numbers on you for that, and we have our picks. So much more to do still on a Friday here on the Rome Show. Stick with us. We are back after this commercial break.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Welcome back into the Rome Show. Friday, December 19th, 2025. It's 7:45 in the state of New Jersey. Arguably the best state in the country. At me, Coach Romo24. The Rome Show 1, Twitter, X, Instagram. The Romanella's on YouTube. And if you tell me it's because the state smells or some other BS, you're wrong, because that means you've never really seen the state. If you can tell me you've been as high as Sussex County and as low as Cape May County, then we can have a conversation about what your thoughts are on the state of New Jersey. Until then, I'm going to need you to keep your opinions about the state of New Jersey from the Jersey Shore television show or landing in Newark Airport completely to yourselves. I ain't keeping my opinions to myself because my face is on the show. So here are my thoughts on week 13 in the National Football League. Let's get it started with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes. How about the Eagles? They lost 3 straight. Then they got to play the Las Vegas Raiders last weekend, and they won 31-0. And now another very lowly bad team the Eagles have on their schedule, which is the Washington Commanders this week. They just ruled Jaden Daniels out for the remainder of the season. They're going to let him rest all of the ailments that he has. So Marcus Mariota's leading the charge there. That gives me no poise whatsoever. I have no faith in that, okay? So give me the Eagles, and give me the Eagles at the -7. The Packers and the Bears, they face off. By the way, both of these games we just started with on Saturday, 5 p.m. Eagles and Commanders, 8:20 p.m. Packers at Bears. It's a big week, okay? And the Packers at the Bears is a gigundo contest. So what do we got here? We got Chicago at home, favored by 1.5. Listen, Packers are coming up off a tough loss last week. Bears have been playing some really good football, okay, and are in a position they have not been in a really long time. They have won 6 of their last 7, but these two teams met 2 weeks ago, and the Packers took the victory 28-21. That was a back and forth affair, and the bottom line was Caleb Williams, bad interception to end that game. And that is the biggest key in this contest. Is he good enough against this Packers defense? And are they good enough to bounce back after losing Micah Parsons for the rest of the year? I think so. I'm going Packers at the +1.5 here. If you notice on my bananas this weekend, a lot of underdogs. Bengals at Dolphins, 2 atrocious football teams. Quinn Ewers starting for the first time in the National Football League. Cincinnati favored on the road by 4.5. I think this is the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Their names and their talent is good, but their team's atrocious. I'm actually going to take the Dolphins here at the +4.5. Again, the most Dolphins thing to do would be to have won all of those games in a row, lost on primetime, then started a rookie quarterback who no one knows anything about. Then they go and they win and make us like 8-9 or 9-8 to finish the year, and still not in the playoffs. That's the most Dolphins thing ever. That's what's going to happen. Give me the Dolphins +4.5. Bills, they travel to Cleveland. They're favored by 10.5. I'll take that. Buffalo minus the 10.5. Chargers, they travel to Dallas. Dallas favored in this one by 1.5. The one thing I have learned, I cannot trust the Dallas Cowboys. If there is a team that I really don't know what to do when I am picking them, it is the Dallas Cowboys, okay? They're one of the most roller coaster teams in the National Football League, and you know what shows that? They're 7-7 against the spread, perfectly 500 this season, and to go a little step further, they're exactly 50% on everything else. So when you're talking about bananas, you're talking about a 50% clip there. I'm good. I already work in coin tosses a lot. I'm good. Go ahead and give me the Chargers at the +1.5. Chiefs, they're knocked out. They don't have their quarterback. At the Titans, who just won, I'm going to go with the Titans here. Yeah, Chiefs are favored by a field goal. Titans, in theory, are more motivated in this game. Give me the Titans at the +3. No need to watch, though. No need to watch the next one either. Jets at the Saints. Tyler Shugg playing way better football. Guys have been talking about it. The 28-year-old rookie, 26-year-old, whatever he is. Nonetheless, Saints are still 4-10. Jets are 3-11. The Jets, who had a quick resurgence, they suck again. Oh, they've always sucked, though. So I'm going to take the Saints here. They're favored by 6.5, almost a touchdown. That's unreal. Give me the Saints at the -6.5. Vikings, they travel to the worst football stadium in the league, MetLife Stadium. They are 2.5-point favorites over the Giants. J.J. McCarthy coming off what I think is his best game as a pro. I'll take the Vikings at the -2.5. This is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of Andrew's. What you watching? This weekend, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they travel to Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers have the tiebreaker in the division. Both teams are 7-7, and the Buccaneers are favored by 3. On the road. I know, right? Well, Carolina 8-6 against the spread. I'm taking the Carolina Panthers at home as the dog with the +3. I really believe in this Carolina team. They're uber motivated, and this Buccaneers team, much like what I just said about the Cowboys, would be the number 2 team that I cannot trust in the National Football League with some of the talent that they have on their roster and maybe how good I believe they should be. Give me the Carolina Panthers at the +3. Jacksonville, they just extended Jacoby Myers 3 years. They must love that guy after the trade from Las Vegas. Myers must love the fact that he went from one of the worst teams in the league to what has been one of the worst teams in the league, but they're not right now. Great timing out of him. They travel to the AFC leading Denver Broncos at 12-2. Denver favored by a field goal in this game, and I think that's exactly where it should be. This Broncos defense is good enough. They're a great late game team. I've been saying it. I'm taking the Broncos at the -3 with a Florida team traveling to Colorado and with the altitude. Another set of bad teams, the Falcons at the Cardinals. Atlanta on the road favored by 3. Kirk Cousins, great presser the other day about breaking down defenses and stuff. You can think whatever you want about him as a quarterback. That guy is kind of a good leader. And he kind of like really, really cares. Okay. And so when you put two bad teams on the field, which one do you think is going to come into this game being a little bit more locked? I'm going to go with the team led by the veteran that is as locked as Kirk Cousins. Give me the Falcons minus the 3. Steelers at Lions. Detroit favored by 7 here. Both teams at 8 and 6. You know, I wanted to take Pittsburgh at the plus here, but this feels all too much like, as a Steelers fan, you're fired up. This is that moment. Let's go and really secure our path to win this division. If you're a Lions fan, you're like, what's going on? We won 15 games last year. Now we're barely going to make the postseason, and it has all of the makings for that lopsided victory. And I'm going with the Detroit Lions at the -7 in that. Texans, they're favored by 2 touchdowns and a half at home against the Raiders. 14.5. I'll take that. Give me the Texans -14.5. And then the Patriots, they travel to Baltimore, 8:20 p.m., the Sunday night contest. That's going to end the Ravens season. Okay. And the Pats need to bounce back after what happened last week, where they were trying to prove to people on national television they were the best team in the AFC. They lost after leading by double digits to the Buffalo Bills at home, okay? And now are underdogs on the road against a 7-7 Baltimore Ravens team. That tells you how little confidence Vegas has in the New England Patriots, because their schedule might have been a little bit of a lie, or has lied to us with their record, because their strength schedule was not great. And they're like 3-3 against teams over 500. So the Patriots are underdogs on the road. I don't trust Baltimore. I've been saying it from the jump. I've been talking about a refresh in that organization. I want Harbaugh as the Dolphins head coach. So this is not this guy can't coach anymore. Fire his ace. None of that stuff. Okay, more or less, sometimes it's just time for a change. Okay, nonetheless, back to the game at hand. Give me the Patriots at the +3. I do think they're better than we give them credit for. I don't think they're as good as some people believe, but I do think that they're better than this Baltimore Ravens team. To finish, I mentioned one of my what you watchins during that spiel. I'll give you a second one right here.
What? Show watching.
Oh, I'm watching the Packers and the Bears on Saturday at 8:20. Are you kidding me? It's that time of year where we have a Thursday NFL game, we got a Saturday NFL game, we got a Sunday game, we got a Monday game. Next week we got Christmas Day games. I think that's a Thursday and a Wednesday. And we got it all, man. It's that time of year where not just NFL football, but all football dominates your television. But the bottom line is, when you cipher through all of these games that you could possibly watch this weekend, like 6 of them actually matter to the point of, I need to watch this. Okay. One of those that you need to be watching.
What? Show watching.
Is the Packers and the Bears, as much as the Bucks and the Panthers. To finish, the college football playoff gets started this weekend. More specifically, gets started tonight with the Bama Crimson Tide traveling to Oklahoma to face the Oklahoma Sooners. The Sooners are favored by 1.5 in this contest. The key matchup here is the quarterbacks, Ty Simpson and John Mateer. Both dudes, Ty Simpson in the running for the Heisman. John Mateer was a heavy favorite early on in the season. Which two of those quarterbacks cannot turn the football over? This is 2 really good defenses going at each other, and I think those are going to be the 2 keys. Which quarterback can keep the football in their hands, and which defense can be locked down? Alabama only giving up 17 points a game. Oklahoma only giving up 14 points per game. I am taking for a final.
What?
Bonus.
Show watching.
What you watching? The college football playoff. But if you want, I'm taking Oklahoma at home -1.5 in this game. The other 3 contests over the weekend: Texas A&M hosts Miami tomorrow at noon. Tulane travels to Ole Miss tomorrow at like 4 something, and JMU at Oregon in the late slate. Miami underdogs by 3.5 to Texas A&M. Tulane underdogs by 17.5 to Ole Miss, and JMU underdogs by 20.5 to Oregon. Personally, praying praying that JMU wins against Oregon. I love Dan Lanning too, okay? But I'm tired of all the haters that think, this is so stupid. All the SEC schools should be in. How is Tulane and JMU in? Who cares about conferences? I'm tired of those people. And so because I really want Ole Miss to win, because I think Lane Kiffin's a loser for the way he left, and I would love for them to win a natty without him, okay? So that rules out Tulane. I'm like, all right, well, that leaves JMU, and man, would that be awesome. That's your college football playoff preview happening this weekend. Just remember, okay, this is a 12-team playoff. So there are 4 teams, 1, 2, 3, and 4 sitting at home right now waiting for the victors of these games, and that will roll us into next weekend's semifinals. Megan hates the Packers, even though the Seahawks GM is from Green Bay. Love it. Meg has been an electric write-in on the show today, and I really appreciate her. I appreciate the people for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic, must I say, have an electric weekend. I'm Andrew Romanella. This is The Rome Show. Please share it, subscribe, follow, help us grow this thing. We're hitting new heights, and we want you to be with us in 2026. Oh, yeah, by the way, look out for this green post. Repost it on social media. Be sure to be following. Monday or Tuesday, final giveaway of a Rome Show Christmas. I'm Andrew Romanella. Be electric, everybody. Peace.